Thank you for joining, and please welcome Alex Johnson from Independent Center. Alex, you may begin.
Thank you so much. And hi, everyone. Welcome to the who, why, and how of intentional board development. It's more than just a seat at the table. Clubhouse boards can be one of the more puzzling but critical pieces of any clubhouse program. This can especially be confusing when you're under a much larger organization or if you're just getting started and trying to figure out how to build your independent board. Despite what type of board your organization might have, boards can often further our goals through supporting strategic planning and growth, assisting with risk management and policy development, um, and monitoring quality improvement. And one of the biggest things is they can help serve as ambassadors for our clubhouse in the community and ensure that members' voices and needs are being considered in all of our decision making. So paramount to this is really having a diverse set of individuals at the table. So today we have two clubhouses, Frontier House in Colorado, United States, and Fountainhuset Hanafoss in Hanafoss, Norway, that will be joining us to talk about how we can build a divorce board. First up, we have Frontier House will be speaking on how to build a strong advisory board.
All right, good morning. Sorry about that. My name is Renee Schell, and I'm with Frontier House, which is in Colorado, USA. I am the director at Frontier House. I've been here for 29 years. And our clubhouse is 36 years old. We've had an advisory board for our clubhouse for most of those years, and I have been involved with our advisory board in one way or another all of my years here at our clubhouse. I'll hand it over to Ray for an introduction.
Good morning, everyone. Ray Lardeman here. I have been on the board with the Frontier House for the last 25 plus years. I enjoy doing what I do because I believe in the philosophy and what the clubhouse does for this community.
All right. So just to get started, we want to note that we are part of an hospice agency. So we operate under the direction and support of our agency's board of directors. Advisory board recruitment goes beyond just simply filling the seat. As the title insinuates, it's about finding the right people who can actively contribute to our mission. So today we're going to explore with you our experience of recruiting, why we may recruit someone to our board, and how we can effectively bring them on and get them fully engaged with our clubhouse and our initiatives. Understanding these facets ensures we build a dynamic and effective board that truly supports our goals. Before we go on, though, Ray, would you mind sharing a little bit more about how you were recruited on the board? Maybe some highlights of being a part of the board or part of the clubhouse as a whole?
I would love to do that, Renee. And it was, a couple decades ago that I was invited to a board meeting because of a service they wanted and I could provide for them. After that meeting, I was asked by board members to come back to future monthly board meetings and investigate, becoming a board member. I did not know what took place in that clubhouse on a day-to-day basis until I was invited to go to a special event. At that event, I heard stories from staff members and from members, and I decided that I needed to be part of this clubhouse. This clubhouse in our community, had been here for years, but very few people knew it existed or what it was about. I wanted to be part of introducing this clubhouse to the community. I have enjoyed doing that. I have enjoyed staying after meetings to chat with members and staff. And for 25 years, I've been doing just that. Thank you, Renee.
Thank you, Ray. We really appreciate your years of service. The advisory board is uniquely positioned to advance the goals and mission of our clubhouse. And without it, the clubhouse cannot reach further into the community or rise to meet the program's growing needs. That's why it matters to have advisory board members who bring their strengths to the table and share ownership of the mission, just like our members of a thriving clubhouse. They must know that they are making a commitment to the board and therefore the clubhouse, and they are valued and relied upon. Our board members contribute to the visibility of our clubhouse in the community by representing our clubhouse at their own functions. We even provide them with name tags so they can wear them at various networking events, as well as our Frontier House business cards so they can promote the clubhouse when they get a chance. Ray is a great example as someone on our board who is constantly linking our clubhouse to various resources, businesses, and opportunities. Ray, could you share with our friends some examples of ways you've connected our clubhouse to opportunities?
I would love to do that. Thank you. To start with, after that experience with the multi-clubhouse and learning about what goes on, I became part of a team that presented to a variety of organizations within our community. I have helped serve the meal at many of the annual employer dinners. I have brought opportunities for grants that have been earned, and one in particular has helped several staff members with their transportation portion of their life. I have brought many table sponsors to the annual breakfast for the last 15 years. I don't give up easily. One particular business I worked with for 3 years just to get a good contact. But that contact has brought us thousands of dollars each year since. I have brought job opportunities that several members have filled. I have spent time at the clubhouse after monthly meetings, connecting with members, and I frequently attend the holiday celebrations and enjoy meals with members and staff. However, all of that being said, my favorite part is the fact that they allow me to still stay around and be involved after 25 years.
Well, we appreciate you, Ray. Thank you. This leads us to our next slide, which is a good segue into the who. So for us, the who boils down to what they can do or contribute to our board and our clubhouse through time, treasure, and talent. This is our go-to focus on when we are looking at potential board members. And the question is, what will they be able to do for the clubhouse to further enhance our program? So under time, these are mostly leaders who show up, who can make the commitment to attend the monthly meetings, who can participate in special events, volunteer in the clubhouse if needed, and open doors in the community. Talent, and these are individuals who are experienced in specialty areas such as legal, legislative, finances, housing, health, business leadership, and they can share their skills and knowledge with us to boost our clubhouse operation. And then treasure, these are the connectors who bring resources and new financial opportunities for the clubhouse to pursue. The bottom line, so we recruit members who give what they have so they can continue, so we can continue to grow the clubhouse. And since we are an hospice agency clubhouse, it is important to us that we have a member of their leadership team serving on our board as an advocate for our program at the agency level. And they can provide expertise on topics such as Medicaid and state policies. They are also a sounding board for our advisory board members to discuss what they want for the clubhouse and how we can collaborate to expand the impact of the clubhouse. For example, our board can collaborate with agency leadership on how we conduct legislative advocacy as a whole to emphasize the need for continued state funding. Additionally, the Hospice Agency's board of directors recruits a clubhouse member to serve as a board member. This partnership has proven to be highly valuable as the member helps raise visibility for the clubhouse among the agency's board of directors. They share important information about the clubhouse, what's going on, the happenings, and may express areas of need and support for our clubhouse. We have 2 positions on our advisory board that are earmarked for clubhouse members who also can contribute through time, talent, and treasure, as well as bringing that unique perspective of a clubhouse member. And then clubhouse members in general who are not on our advisory board are welcome to observe the meetings as well. Our recruitment process is heavily based on our established community relationships and our understanding of influential leaders within our broader network. During our monthly board meetings, we include a standing agenda item focused on board development, recruitment, and public relations. If we identify a need for further growth, we use this opportunity to brainstorm potential candidates to invite to join the board. At our annual breakfast event, which Ray had already mentioned, this is our largest fundraiser with approximately, 350 attendees or so, and many of whom are hearing about us for the first time or maybe had been inspired to become more involved. We provide a platform for individuals to express their interest in our advisory board. Following the event, we reach out to these individuals to discuss their potential fit on the board and explore their further involvement. Our board does not have fixed term limits. However, we do expect a minimum commitment of 1 year. We believe that maintaining a balance of long tenured members combined with newer members offers our board a valuable combination of in-depth knowledge of the clubhouse combined with those fresh perspectives and ideas. To foster an engaged and dedicated board, it is important to establish clear expectations and emphasize relationship building among the board members and with our clubhouse community. Our clear expectations revolve around the 3 main focus areas: public relations and awareness, employment development, and fundraising. It is beneficial to inquire about each board member's motivations for joining and explore how their unique skills and experience can contribute to our growth and success. I inquire about their interest in the Front House Advisory Board to understand their motivations. Additionally, I ask if they have any personal experience with mental health, which helps me gauge their level of understanding and the focus of their interest. For example, so there's some examples of how particular board members can help us grow and develop our clubhouse. So for example, we had a board member who serves as a hiring manager at a large established corporation who was able to provide transitional employment opportunities. Also facilitated introductions to other types of employment positions. And I'll just network with potential employer partners within their network and also within their own organization. Additionally, they provided access to corporate resources of funding that supported our initiatives. Another illustration is a connection that had been made through a board member with a prominent community leader who suggested hosting that annual event that's been so successful for us. And that helped us attract a lot of sponsors and individuals who became donors, and then helped us continue to increase the attendance in that event every year. This leader also recommended their spouse for a board position. which strengthened our community ties through their notable achievements and relationships within our broader community. It is crucial to assign specific tasks, projects, and commitments to board members so they understand their valued role and responsibilities. Don't be afraid to ask for something. Board members are here because they want to be useful and helpful, and they want to make an impact. Communicating that their involvement is wanted, needed, and expected encourages active participation and embodies the spirit of a clubhouse. During each of our board meetings, we bring specific employment needs of a few of our members to the board to see if there are any connections in the area of the employment need and to help brainstorm leads. This is a great way to let the board know what is needed specifically so they can branch out to their own connections to assist with finding employment. We also bring success stories to the board to share with them the outcomes of the clubhouse through the members' achievements. This helps hit home with them that their valued contribution is crucial to the overall success of our members. Furthermore, integrating board members into the clubhouse community helps foster a sense of belonging. This includes encouraging participation in special events, volunteering at the clubhouse, attending social gatherings periodically, and maintaining informal visits such as dropping by for lunch or conversations and staying after meetings to connect with members, which Ray has, I think, mentioned all those things and is highly involved in all those areas of connecting with the clubhouse. These interactions promote a deeper understanding of the clubhouse model, strengthen the board members' connection to the clubhouse community, and it helps facilitate authentic relationships with our members. We have found that some of our most effective board members are those who have established strong community ties through various connections and networks. And it is through these ties that the clubhouse breaks through the glass ceiling to become better known through our community and which can help develop more partnerships that help us open our doors for our members. When I first learn of someone's interest in the advisory board, whether through a connection of an existing board member or independently, initially I discuss their reasons for interest in the clubhouse, inquire about other community organizations they are involved with, and explore their professional background and areas of expertise. Additionally, I ask about their hobbies and personal interests and inquire how they believe they can contribute to the growth and continued development of our clubhouse. This information helps us assess how their skills and interests align with the needs of our board and our clubhouse. For example, someone who has a financial background, maybe is an accountant or a chief financial officer in their career, could provide us with oversight on our accounts and budgets and may even become a treasurer for the board. To assure that they are fully informed of this commitment, I also provide them with a one-page overview detailing the purpose and responsibilities of the board. We also share what we call a board member job description, and this outlines the roles and expectations for each member. Subsequently, we invite them to visit the clubhouse to meet with our staff and our members and to receive that introductory tour, which includes an overview of the standards. This is typically done in conjunction with the board member who has helped connect them to the clubhouse. If appropriate, they are invited to attend a monthly board meeting to meet the other board members. A decision is then made regarding their potential appointment to the board. We also do have bylaws and we have officer roles. And for an advisory board, we do this so that we have a group of people situated to evolve into a full board of directors if we ever came across that need. And Ray, I'm going to send it over to you for some final points or highlights.
Thank you, Renee. You know, one of the last things I want to say is, being a board member with this community has given me the opportunity to connect and develop relationships with other board members, as well as many other community businesses that I have talked with, worked with, and brought to the clubhouse. You know, the relationships that have been built are amazing. just like Renee, a phenomenal leader for this organization. And I can't say enough about what she does for this community. Thank you, Renee.
Thank you, Ray. And this leads us to our last slide of thanking you for listening to our presentation. Ray and I hope you find it helpful as you work on developing and strengthening your board. And so I'm going to pass it back to Alex. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much, Renee and Ray. That was super informative. And I think we can't say enough how important it is to really give that board some roles and responsibilities and giving them ownership of that responsibility. From my own experience back in the day, like those bylaws are so incredibly helpful. And really gives you that opportunity to take a step back when you're the director and say, no, this is your guys' thing, like run with it. And just like we do with members, like giving people that ownership can breed so much investment. So thank you so much. So now we're going to move on to Hanafas to talk about what it's like to build an independent board of directors. Take it away.
Thank you, Alex. My name is Bodil Heggelund, and I'm from Fontenehuset Hønefoss in Norway. I'm an assistant director there, and I worked there for 17 years.
And my name is Helge Gjevestad. It will show on the first slide as well. And I'm a member, and I'm also a member of the board of directors.
Our clubhouse, Fontenehuset Hønefoss, is one of the oldest clubhouses in Norway. We have been here since 2003. And into the next slide, we will tell you a little bit more about our house. We are a freestanding clubhouse organized as a trust, as most of the clubhouses in Norway are. Henge Board of Director members have a personal liability in respect of executing the business in accordance with national laws and regulations, as well as running the trust in accordance with its bylaws and, in our case, the standards. Our clubhouse is funded mainly by governmental grants and contributions from our 3 municipalities in our catchment area. In addition, we apply for and receive support from national trust and organizations. We also receive some donations from private individuals. And into the next slide, we will talk some more about diversity.
Yes, we have a great diversity amongst our board members. Several business executives, scholars, politicians, and various members from the clubhouse community with various backgrounds. This composition secures our operation both locally and nationwide. The diversity gives the clubhouse the potential to be at its best for people with mental illness on their path to reach growth and success. Bringing business, education, and politics, and including clubhouse members, enhance our members' capability to enter into schools, jobs, and get a worthy life. Such a board will as well secure our position within our catchment area and stabilize our finances. Bodil?
Here in the picture, you can see our member Kirstin together with our board member Lars Petter. Lars Petter is an CEO of an international industrial company with a local factory here in Hønefoss. Kirstin started to work in a limited position in Lars Petter's company and worked her way up to a full-time position. During her travel to a full-time job, the clubhouse also got 2 transitional employment positions at the factory, and Lars Petter became a member of our board. They both earlier this year attended a gathering we held for potential collaborating unities where they told their story. And this gave results. We landed new agreements with local businesses, which led to new jobs for our clubhouse members. Standard 33 gives an excellent guideline of which groups of persons is needed to establish a good and functional board of directors. When recruiting board members, a vital key point is to find the candidate's willingness as well as opportunity to allocate time to serve. We want board members that can and will participate in the work of the day. This to get to know our members, our system, and the clubhouse model. We want them to be willing to take time to go through our onboarding program for board of directors and to participate in national and local meetings on behalf of the clubhouse. All this to secure their knowledge of how and why we operate as we do, and for them to get to understand why they can contribute, what they can contribute to our clubhouse. We want our board of directors to be active within and committed to the clubhouse. Other factors we would like to point out when recruiting board members are their widespread knowledge of the local community. What happens in our community? What are the challenges of our community? And do they know people that we might need to get in contact with? We see after professional qualifications, we want a diversity amongst our board members. And we look after if they are eligible by local law to participate as a board of directors member. People that are convicted in a criminal court for embezzlement and/or fraud might be banned from serving as a member of a board in Norway. And all these terms also apply to the clubhouse members in office who are elected amongst and by the clubhouse members.
Then I would like to talk about the recruitment and how it's done. We have an electoral committee with 3 members, which one is a clubhouse member. All 3 must have extensive knowledge of what is moving around in our catchment area. The 2 external members are appointed by our clubhouse yearly summit, and the person representing the members are elected on a clubhouse meeting. The electoral committee identifies potential board members and execute interviews with them. At least 1 member with political experience is desired. We think that this person will act as a door opener and help us understand the murky ways of politics. When we enter into a process of strengthening our focus on education, we recruited persons from the local university. This move has vitalized our bonds to academia and increased our members' knowledge of the educational potentials within our municipalities. As we all know, a keystone of a board member is the board members from local business communities. This will increase the chance of getting TEs, secure funding, and give the board a professional appearance. The board members, with exception of the clubhouse members, are confirmed by the clubhouse yearly summit.
And into the next slide, we will talk more about recruiting clubhouse members for the board.
So we have been using this procedure of recruiting clubhouse members for the last 20 years. When a vacancy is approaching, the clubhouse announces it on social media, various clubhouse meetings, and on in-house billboards. This announcement includes information regarding eligibility, time consumption, and liability such a position requires. Further, the duties and workload entering such a role will implicate. When eligible clubhouse members have expressed their desire to run for office, talks with sitting board members and the administration is carried out. And within these talks, we talk about duties, time consumption, and workload, and we explain this in detail. We want to ensure that such a process shall not be a popularity contest, so no campaigning is allowed. The election is held at a clubhouse decision-making meeting where only members are allowed to cast their votes. Our system also ensures that both clubhouse representatives are not up for election in the same year. This in order to secure continuity. Our position is that this recruitment process ensures a direct impact on the board's decision-making duties by board members that holds votes of confidence from the clubhouse community.
To secure a swift, correct, and dynamic execution of business, the board of directors meets every other month. And prior to each meeting, the administration of the clubhouse provides them with fresh financial statements, statistics, operational reports, HR reports, reports from ongoing projects, and other business. All 9 members of the board might forward questions to the administration, either in advance or in the meeting. On the board, all matters are adopted by simple majority, as described in our bylaws. And since there are no deputy representatives, equality of votes is solved with the principle chairs double vote. So instead of using the meeting to skim through documents, this procedure enables the board members to focus on current and new business. It also encourages innovation amongst the board and strengthen the knowledge between the members as individuals. As a consequence, we have a firm belief that our board of directors serve the clubhouse community with both mind and heart. We just want to thank you for your attention, for listening to us from Norway, talking about how to recruit board members.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone, for today, for your wonderful presentations. We're going to go ahead and move into Q&A. Everyone has a lot of questions that they would like to ask. So, Alex, we're going to go ahead and get started with you moderating Q&A today. And we're going to ask the first question, which is, where do you start? Where are the first places you would look to find board members?
I think that would be a great place for maybe like Renee to give her experience.
Hello. Well, we just try to get out into community events. So I guess if we were starting anew without not having a board in place, I would encourage the director and a member and maybe even just teams of staff and member teams going out and looking at events within your own community that have a networking component to it, and just start really talking to business leaders, influential community members about our clubhouse. And one area that we really tend to get a lot of interest is when we're able to speak on a platform about our clubhouse. So looking for opportunities to present about the clubhouse, service organizations within your community, schools, there's agency type fairs, those kind of things, like health related fairs put in place. Anytime you can talk about your clubhouse, one of the first questions we get at the end of a presentation is, how can I get involved? People love what we do. And one of the things we tell them is like, well, we do have an advisory board. There are some opportunities to be involved through that board. Let's explore that further. But when people say, how can I get involved? That's an opportunity to talk about the board.
You guys at Hanafoss, you guys have kind of your strategies that you use?
Well, I think Renee summed it up very, very adequate. When we started out some 23 years ago, we had a group of people with great impact in the local community funding us. And there has been no problem since then to get members to the board. And it is like Renee points out, we do, I don't know if we should use the word, we are loved, but we are respected. And our operation means something to the local community as well. So tell people about us, tell them about the standards, and tell them about the impact we have on persons' lives. Thank you.
Yeah, I will add one little piece too, is that sometimes also getting creative in what you're thinking about can be really helpful. So I had an experience where I was trying to get a lot of like people from the health system and things like that in there, and it was really hard because like they are very busy people. And actually somebody that helped me build my board like better than many was actually the executive assistant to like the head of our health system, because she's in like all those meetings, organizing those things, and has a lot of those same connections and had a little bit more like time and like headspace to like support us.
Thank you all. Your next question. If you are starting up a clubhouse, should you focus on the location and building the membership or the advisory board first?
That's a big one. I was gonna say, I think, I don't know, giving a little time to think, like, huh, Hanafas, what has been like your experience?
Yes, it's been a while since we started, but when we started, there were the two founders and a couple of more people that was the starting board. So we started out with the boards that had connections in our community, with both financial connections and also with locations and what we needed to start a house. So maybe just a couple of, maybe not just a full board, but a couple of people who are invested in the community. And I think Clubhouse is a good idea, and to work with together to start the Clubhouse.
You guys at Frontier have thoughts?
I think from an hospice agency clubhouse, the board of directors of our hospice agency is all, is supporting us as we develop, as we open. So we kind of in that vein have the support of that group already in place. So I would say it's probably quite common for our hospice agency clubhouses just to open up their clubhouse, build their membership, and then go into building their advisory board. I would say it'd be pretty quickly. You'd probably want to do that because the advisory board brings those opportunities that you want to start building within your clubhouse, such as employment and fundraising, to start to create that autonomy and that, and just further develop your clubhouse as a whole and all the opportunities. So I would probably stick with kind of that as a common thing, but there is no right answer here. And that's the thing. I think for more so for freestanding clubhouses, starting out with a group of groups, like, a formalized group to support the clubhouse is probably going to be really needed from the beginning.
Yeah, and I really agree with your piece that it's hard to say which one to go first, because the two sort of affect each other, where it's like you really need those job opportunities and some of those other community opportunities to build your membership. But yes, you also need members to do the things. But no, great question.
That's a good question.
Great. Your next question. How do you decide what decisions are made by the staff and members of the clubhouse and what decisions are made by the board?
Like Renee, what have kind of been your guys' experience?
Well, and again, this is a cool situation because we have the perspective of the auspice agency clubhouse and the freestanding clubhouse, and I think we probably do it a little. Things might be a little different. I think determining what. This is where it kind of comes down to making sure that you have things for the board to do that gives them purpose and value. So for instance, for fundraising, our largest fundraiser that we've mentioned a few times is this breakfast event, and it has been the most successful ever. That was something that our board decided on, that group of people were tasked with. We're the decision makers here. This is something that we have to do. We have to put together. We have to see it through every year. And what our board decides to do, I really bring into the clubhouses. Because our clubhouse loves our advisory board, they know that they're there doing things that are going to help us. They're always supportive, but we still want to get our clubhouse community, in on it and to support it as well. So I think it's just a matter of making sure that, like as the director, I'm that conduit between the advisory board and the clubhouse. And I'd like to make sure that they're connected. And sometimes I am that link, but that our advisory board knows what our clubhouse is doing and vice versa. And so they can support the decisions that are happening. Sometimes we'll bring something to our advisory board and they'll say, Renee, we feel better about this if we take it to our clubhouse and you guys decide and you let us know what you want to do. Oftentimes that happens. Ray, I don't know if you have a different perspective or something to add to that in that experience.
I do, because there have been times when I would reach out to Renee and ask her a question. And before she would answer that or give me an answer, she said, we will discuss that at our members gathering whenever that happens. But I also want to add what she said, in terms of us presenting to organizations and giving us the opportunity to talk to that organization about new board members. Just yesterday, I was having coffee with a friend, and when we got talking about the clubhouse, he lit up. And his response was, I need to connect with them to have them come and present at one of our meetings in the near future. I haven't even had the opportunity to share that with Renee yet, so the opportunities are out there all the time. We just need to keep these ears and eyes open. So continue to do what you do to the best of your ability.
Thank you. Your next question. Please share a few concrete do's and don'ts for ensuring ongoing connections and engagement with advisory board members.
Helga, Hanifas, you guys want to take a start at it this time?
Yeah, we are a freestanding clubhouse, but I guess we still have some do's and don'ts. I think some of the key points are to, as Renee talked about earlier, to keep them connected with the clubhouse and to share what we are doing in the clubhouse, so they can and link that to their knowledge, so they can see see truly what they can help us with and feel that they are helping. Often get that in our board meetings. What can we do to help you? So give them concrete examples, like when we needed more TEs, we held out to the board members, and one of our board members joined us in the work of the day in a group that work with getting more TEs, and this really helps the boards to feel that they are doing something for the clubhouse. I think that's the main thing, keep them activated and get them to know what we are doing the whole time.
I would also like to mention the legislation. As we said, we are a trust, and Clubhouse board of directors need to know their liability and their responsibility. Also, when recruiting, I think that is vital, so people don't go into office with false pretenses.
Anything from Frontier?
From an hospice clubhouse, I think one of the don'ts is you don't want all, your board to be filled with your hospice agency, staff or leadership. You don't want it to be all mental health people. You don't want to assume that your board member knows how they can contribute. You do want to ask directly, say what we need. We need this, and ask them direct, because if I try to get to know your board members well, so you know what's in their wheelhouse, and you can tap into it and be the one to say, hey, I remember one time you said you had this, or you knew this person. Would you be able to connect us? Sometimes they won't speak up and say, hey, yeah, I hear you have this, let me connect you. But if you ask them, they'll be most likely wanting to do that. And don't keep a board member on that's not really engaged or doesn't seem like they have the time to commit because you're afraid to hurt their feelings. I think it's important to say, just to recognize, hey, I know it seems like you're really busy. Perhaps it's time that we move on. I don't know, probably just lack of tactful words in the moment, but something very gentle and kind. Obviously, they provide service to our board and appreciate their time. If they fulfilled whatever minimum requirement that you might have, I mean, they gave something to our board. So still appreciating that, but also recognizing, you're busy. You've got a lot going on. Perhaps you haven't been able to give the time that this takes. And so don't be afraid to be the one to say that.
Let me add to that also. The first thought that went through my mind is get to know the people, develop that relationship. Just like the coffee meeting yesterday morning, to reconnect with Tom was great. And where that's going to go in the future, I don't know yet. And in relationship to the don't try to twist somebody's arm just to have a position filled. Make sure, like Renee said, they want to be part of it and they will be committed and be helpful. So don'ts and do's. That's a great thought. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Your next question. What role can an advisory board play in fundraising efforts?
Ray, you look like you got thoughts.
Yeah, that's a great question, and that is something that I thoroughly enjoy doing. And my wife sometimes gets frustrated because I do so much or spend so much time out there in the community, knocking on doors and follow up. But it has paid off over the years. And like Renee has said, that breakfast has become a phenomenal fundraiser for the Frontier House.
Yeah, and in addition to that, I think for us, it was, being one of the primary initiatives of our board. It's already kind of an expectation of our board members that we're going to be tapping into whatever ideas, skills, talents, interests you have when it comes to bringing financial resources to our clubhouse. So we've had like grant write, someone say, "Oh, I used to write grants in my previous career." I mean, we're like, "Oh, grants, that's great. Yeah, we're going to need you. Hey, can you help us write this grant?" Also, I tasking the board with a major project for us was fundraising itself, and that has been so engaging. And for most of the time, it's them bringing in their contacts. I mean, these people know people who know people who know people, and we're not going to, I don't know all those people. And some very prominent, powerful, influential people in our community we start to link to because we're asking our board members, "Hey, we need to connect, we need this." And so I would give a fundraising project to the board if that's kind of what your specific ask is like, how can you get them engaged in fundraising? Give them their baby. Give them, "Hey, this is your baby. Let's grow this as a group and see where it can go, and let them lead it. Let them kind of take ownership over that."
I will add that like it can be tough when you're part of an hospice clubhouse to understand that like fundraising element. I will say that a lot of times like really putting some focus on like that community engagement and getting the name out there in the community can be just as important. And it's always worth talking through when you're under an auspice, like how we can still like have an active part of that, because that's an important piece for our advisory board and for our clubhouse community as a whole.
Great. Your next question. How has your board helped your clubhouse develop your employment programs, particularly TE, and also reaching out to employers and HR connections?
Anna Foss, you want to take that one on first?
Yes, we can. We talked a little bit about it earlier that we use some of our board members into a TE group at the clubhouse to be the one who knows the businesses in our community and know the contacts, who to contact, and where the business is at, and know which one may be needing someone to work. That's a great help from us. So we didn't need to go and knock on every door, but we know this one we can contact. They need one, and then they also often know which person should we contact in the business to get there. And we also, so as I said before, turned it the other way around, finding good leaders out in businesses that we had TEs and bring them onto the board, and they can help us further to get to know other people and other agreements. And when we invite the businesses in here, then they can tell their story to say how this have been for them, what it has given them as a business, to stay out there and say, if you wonder of something, you can come to us and ask the questions, and we will tell you how it is to be a TE employer.
Go ahead.
Excellent. Thank you. So we have about 2 minutes left. Does anyone have any closing remarks before we go into our final close for today?
I will say thank you. You know, this has been a great experience for me, and I hope is beneficial for the other clubhouses and the participants that are listening in and will observe this in the future. So thank you for allowing me to be part of this.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I would just, yeah, echo Ray, thank you for the opportunity. And you know, there's no perfect way to do this, no right way to do this. It's just, it's about trying what we do day to day in our clubhouses is we're bringing people together. And we're relying on people's strengths, talents, interests, abilities, knowledge, expertise. And that's what we're doing with the board is we're bringing people together. And, you know, as a nonprofit, we're boxed in sometimes by who we know, and we're not going to get to know outside of that box unless we pull others into it. And then that's how we link. It's like this big tree. That's how we link on to other people and create that web of people who know about us and people who want to contribute through the various opportunities such as the board. So keep getting the word out there and keep asking. That's what I say.
No, I parrot that. I don't think I could have said that better.
Excellent. Thank you all so much for today. Thank you to all of our presenters and our panelists and Alex for moderating today's session. If we have not answered your questions, please send an email to wanawebinar@fountainhouse.org. The recording for today's session will be available on the Wana Webinar YouTube channel in the next few weeks. A link to this channel is available within the chat window and will also be in the thank you for attending email arriving tomorrow. All live attendees will receive an email in the next 1 to 2 weeks that will include a link to the recording and the slide deck. Please take a moment to fill out the short survey that will appear once you leave the event. Thank you all for joining today's webinar and be on the lookout for announcements regarding our future webinars. Thank you to all of our attendees. You may now disconnect.